My god! So, it would seem that this new AJR record is very much, in fact, not good. AJR, pop rock indie group, they're back with a brand new album, Neotheater. And with what they've been releasing over the past few years, they've consistently proven to me to be the indie darling punching bag of music. Because with every minute of this brand new album, there is not a second that goes by where I don't feel annoyed and or pissed off and feeling basically insulted. On the surface of this record, it seems relatively inoffensive. Like, something that's agreeable. Lowest common denominator, something you can just set it and forget it. Just like something that, like, the kids they're listening to, But underneath that surface is an egotistical, bland, overprivileged, white people music that's just coming from the absolute worst place. Sonically, this album wears a lot of influences on its sleeve. Like, I catch vibes of the loudness, the musical loudness of modern day Panic at the Disco, the overblown production of a Half Alive band, the style of a 21 Pilots, and the lyrics of a 13-year-old that thinks he's deep and meaningful, while at the same time being so desaturated from the real world, and combines the worst aspects of all of those ideals. This album just comes from such a selfish, such an overprivileged place of mind. Like, the first track, the opening track, Next Up Forever, is already, for me at least, so egotistical. I mean, the old-timey vocals are kind of cute. I love barbershop quartet vocals. I think they're great. But then, they mutilize them in the mixing. Jack, the front man, comes across as so punchable I wouldn't even feel any remorse for beating him. Also, we have lyrics such as, I kinda wish I was still a virgin, trying to finally see what sex is like. Like, why? How is this real life? How? The song presents itself as being larger than life. But I'm losing words, because, like, this album for me is so maddening. Like, it feels so empty and hollow. Like, I'm in the Neotheater, but I'm refusing to take my seat. And the only reason I'm sitting down is because the security forced me to take that seat, ordered by the band. This song sets the bar for the rest of this album, which is a pretty low bar. Even though it may come across as inoffensive and nice on the ears relatively, the production is very overblown and loud and really, really terrible. Like, my brain is being scrambled, and I'm offended by how dumbed down these lyrics are already. Like, it's not a good sign at all. Birthday Party, I have so many issues with it. You're singing from the perspective of a newborn baby, right? And having those rose-colored glasses. The subject here is that the world seems so great, but it's not. It's a cruel place where I won't say only bad things happen, but 50% of the time, that thing is going to be really shitty. But AJR doesn't present it in a way that feels authentic at all. Even though, if they touch on a subject like divorce, or hell, even immigration laws, it's presented in such an overly optimistic tone that just destroys any part of the message that's being made. And then, we also have this great lyric, such as, I bet this Instagram's a little fun. It's best to show the best of everyone. I bet it never bites us in the bum. Are we serious? This is what an adult thought was okay for a lyric. How is this happening? They also sample the track In Heaven from Eraserhead, completely taken out of the context from the source, and just reinforces the idea that the song provides. That doesn't provide like a counter argument that the world is bad or shitty. It just like reinforces this ideal image that like, hey, the sky is blue, not a cloud in the sky, everything's going great, this life is a cinch, this life is great. I could just rant about the song in particular for a good, 10 minutes. But I digress. Also, Jack's delivery, I do not like it at all. I do not like the chorus. The chorus. I'm 1 minute old today and everything is going great. God. How is this real life? How is this happening? 100 Bad Days, I also get the same vibe from Birthday Party, because it doesn't, for me, well, how do I say this? The listener is supposed to reflect their experiences onto the song, obviously, and I get the sense that when we get to the pre-chorus, and I got that, let me restate that, I got that idea that the listener is supposed to, like, reflect their ideas and own experiences to the pre-chorus, when all is going wrong and you're scared as hell. Also, the punchline on the song is so non-existent. 100 bad days make 100 good stories. 100 good stories may be interesting at parties. What? Excuse me. Okay, first off, define bad. Are you in the cycle of, like, bad things happening to you, like, or are you depressed in the same way that a white suburban kid listening to Lil Peep is? Like, the punchline on this track is so non-existent that it may as well be a fucking anti-joke. Aside from that, it's just another overblown track, hollow, with some very, very bad vocal performances. Like, I can hear the auto-tune. I can hear the auto-tune reeking through my skull. I can hear it. And then, don't throw out my Legos. Jesus Christ. All the negatives on 100 Bad Days are on this track. Also, I'm sorry if I'm seeing, like, a little bit crazy, because this album drained my soul so much to the point where I can't even think straight. But 100 bad... No, not 100 Bad Days. I already talked about that. Don't throw out my Legos. I dislike this track a lot. But I can relate to the theme of refusing to let go. But honestly, it feels like this decision presented in the song. It feels like Jack has never had to make a harder decision than what's presented here. Because as you grow older, you learn to deal with moving on. You should move on. The past is in the past. You reflect on those experiences and you become a better person. Also, the bridge on this track, it's cold out there. You're standing there. You're trying to face your greatest fear. You're shivering. You're trembling. It's warm in here, so come back in. That is one of the worst bridges I've heard lyrically this year, especially in the context of the song, because it basically promotes the idea of don't try to better yourself. You're already as good as you're ever going to get, which is a defeatist mindset that I cannot support at all. I cannot support, hey, you're doing this thing, and you're trying to better yourself, but don't do that. Like, there's no need for improvement. Don't try to better yourself. Just enjoy a life full of comfort with no consequences. Like, get a job. Jesus Christ. And then, for the rest of the album, there are either songs that are so bland, it's somewhat maddening, and then there are songs that are so annoyingly catchy that I want to vomit. Like Break My Face, an excessively annoying track with whatever that sound is. To me, it sounds like a cat covered in layers of bad production and autotune that reeks throughout the whole song as well, with a high-pitched squealing as well. Even without that, the song is so annoyingly catchy that I actually wanted to vomit. Like, it gets in your head so deep and so hard. It's so hard to concentrate. I wanted to die during that time period when it was stuck in my head. And then, God, I feel like I'm ragging too much about this album. Because I am. I do not like this album at all. But, God, with the excessively annoying tracks like Break My Face and the entertainments here, which sounds like a song Logic would have made if nothing bad ever happened to him. I'm paraphrasing that, like, note from Fantano, but, like, I wholeheartedly believe in that. Because the entertainments here, one of the lyrics in the chorus is literally about shutting your brain off when the entertainment arrives. And that was an insult to my intelligence, because this song is the equivalent of every white teen in their room on a Sunday. Jesus Christ. You know, with every bad track on this album, I do think there is one saving grace. I truly and honestly do. And that is Turning Out Part 2. The song provides a dramatic change of pace, as it is a slow keyboard ballad, with bassist Adam Met singing instead, who honestly for me would be a better frontman than Jack, as he's more gentle, more emotionally grounded, less confused, and is also less punchable, which is always a good sign in a frontman. The theme of the song is probably one of the themes that I can wholeheartedly and strongly relate to, as the idea of loving the idea of someone instead of the person is what I believe to be a universal truth. Not for everyone, but I do think it is a universal truth. Even though there is some really out of place high pitched singing on the instrumental break, that does ruin a bit of enjoyability of the song. It's the only song I like, not strongly like by any means, but it's fine. It's fine. It's doable. It's cute. It's fun. Not fun, but it's cute while it's on. But aside from that, we get tracks like Karma, which are forgettable and bland. The song's about a fictional therapy session. And then Jack says, I've been so good this year, I've been so good this year, why is everything happening to me? I got reinforcement of, birthday party. But not birthday party, 100 bad days. God, I am just losing track. I am losing track of my words, because this album is so maddening. But I think, the worst song, lyrically and musically, on the entire album has got to be Beats, because it's literally an ad for Beats by Dre, except it's not. It's not paid advertisement at all. Hell, Beats by Dre, the brand, is littered throughout the entirety of the chorus. So basically, AJR has sold out for the 5th time, basically. And it's somewhat maddening. And then, Wow I'm Not Crazy is the next track. And it's the equivalent of someone who self-diagnosed, even though a doctor told them that there's nothing wrong with them. And then learning that, oh shit, there is nothing wrong with me. I'm just a prick. And then Dear Winter, the guitar ballad on this thing, it is... Well, first off, it's an ode to one's future kid. But you haven't met the kid's mother yet. And on that topic, he seems maybe a little bit picky. I gotta find your mother. I gotta find your mother. Ask your mother. My mother, your mother, please, 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 God. How hard is it for you to, find a girlfriend? Please. Get some help, please. Also, the lyrics on this track makes me truly scared for Jack Met as a dad. He talks about hanging out even after she's grown up, and hell, taking a shot on her 21st birthday. It's lyrics like these that make me want to take a cold shower. I mean, even out of the context of the record, it sounds like it could have potential. Truly and honestly, I truly honestly believe that. It sounds like a cute little ode to your future kid, like a pre-recorded message for the future, here are all the things I'm going to teach you. Here are all the things we're going to do together. But every strip of that potential is lost because of the lyrics and Jack's delivery. Jack's delivery on every track, he's like a kid that thinks he's good, and all of his friends are too scared to shut him down. Because he is a very flawed, very, very flawed singer. I wouldn't even call him a good singer. I'd call him tolerable. At the very least. At the very least, I would call him tolerable. And then the finale of this track, it's presented as having stakes as high as Mount Olympus, with lyrics talking about Jack giving people hell instead of heaven. And I mean, this album is a hell, but not in the way that Jack presents it. But it's just as hollow and as meaningless as the rest of the album. There are no stakes being presented that give this song a reason to be as grand and luxurious, outside of this being the final track on the album. Honestly, and the last verse on this track, he talks about stopping making music. And honestly, truly and honestly, if AJR stopped making music, I would not feel anything. Not as much feeling as I think I should be feeling. So, this album is bad. And I've seen a lot of other people talking about how bad this is outside of the AJR fan base, apparently. But critics, music bloggers have all, Anthony Fantano, Spectrum Pulse, they've all talked about how bland and unoriginal and excruciatingly, I don't even know if that's how you say it, but fuck it, how excessively annoying this album is. The hooks are tacky, they're overblown, they're soulless, and they're hollow. The lyrics are so juvenile, so basic, uninspired that it's insulting. It's like it's like you're trying to be edgy, but you're not. The production is also terrible. It's all over the place. It's overblown. It's presented with so much stakes, but there's no stakes at all. Jack Met is one of the most punchable frontmen I've heard in a long time. And there's almost nothing going for this record. I imagine whoever is listening to this is going to be as old, if not younger than me. Like, I'm 16, and I'm clearly not in the age range for this album. I will openly admit that. But I'm very scared for the audience of this album, because what's being presented here is so fake. It's not genuine at all. It just sounds like, it honestly sounds like pandering. It sounds like pandering. It literally sounds like corporate funding. Corporations thinking that this album is what you relate to. This is what they think that you relate to. Keyword being what they think you relate to. And while I've had heard some worse music this year and over the course of my life, I truly and honestly have. I don't think I've heard an album this year that I felt so strongly negative against and have had the words to explain why. Like, because even in the Kiyomani review, I did present some things that I enjoyed about the record. For one, I did like the instrumentals, and I did the instrumentals. I did also like how low-key it was. I love the do-it-yourself production style. I love the do-it-yourself production style so much. Like, for any album, honestly. But with this, there's nothing. There's nothing. I mean, some of the hooks can be catchy, but they're annoying catchy. Like, you don't want them in your head after the first listen. And I do love the old-timey vocals, the barbershop quartet vocals, but that's really it. I can truly and honestly say, I didn't even smile listening to this record. Not even once. It just sucked the joy out of me so much. Because it sounds and reeks of the worst size of millennial pop. This album sounds like corporate funding. This album sounds like bad, relatable Instagram comedy. This album sounds like someone who's emotionally confused for the fashion of it. This album sounds like a less edgy Panic at the Disco. This album sounds like bootleg Disney movies. This album sounds like an insult to my intelligence. This album sounds like pandering. And this album sounds like white privilege. I am feeling a strong one. Genuinely. I'm feeling a strong one. And if you disagree with me, that's fine. That's fine. To each their own. Like, I'm not, like, for this review, I don't think I'm going to change your music taste. I'm just ranting in an album review where I shouldn't even be ranting, but I can't be unbiased against this, because it truly and honestly is not good. And many people, many critics specifically, it's just like maddening how bad this album is. And I truly and honestly hope that if AJR continues to make music, they need a stronger sound. They need something that, I wouldn't say something that I relate to, but something that is grounded emotionally. Because no songs on this album sound grounded emotionally at all. And that's my album review / rant. And disagree with me, agree with me, I don't care. I truly and honestly don't. Just get your opinion out there. Let's have a discussion about this. And I'm out. I'm out. Jesus Christ. AJR, Neotheater is not good. It is maddening. And I'm out. Bye.